So I've just bought this quite rare Volkswagen Golf Mark6 R from auction. Now, I wouldn't normally film this type of video, but it's 2026. I hope you all had a great Christmas and a great New Year. And I thought I'd do more types of these videos throughout the year because I'm doing it anyway. Now, you may notice this isn't damaged. And yes, I'll be putting it on Compete for Cars. But the whole idea of the car, it got me really questioning about the future and the current position of the car industry. So I want to have actually a little chat with you a little bit later on this video about where it's all headed in the future. But for now, let's check out this rare Volkswagen Golf R Mark6. Now, reason one why these are so rare is because they were only made for 2 years, between 2010 and 2012, unlike the Mark 7 Golf, which was made from 2013 all the way up to 2020. So nearly 4 times longer period. And in the Mark 7 Golf era, you also had leasing. There were dirt cheap leasing deals in about 2015, 2016. You could get a Golf R for about £200 a month. So that is why that absolutely flooded the market. Luckily, the Mark 6 now is coming into its own because it's now a lot rarer car, and this example is worth more than quite a lot of Mark 7s. But a little bit more about this car specifically and why I bought it. It's a 2012 Volkswagen Golf R Mark 6. As I've said before, it is a 3-door with full leather, manual, 4-wheel drive, 2-litre turbo with only 27,000 miles on the clock. It's a decent spec. It's got adaptive suspension. It's got the RNSC, if I remember correctly, 510, which is the extra button on here because it's got nav as well. It's a really nice, clean car. 2 owners from new. Full Volkswagen service history. And I bought it to put on Compete for Cars, so one of you guys can win it for a couple of quid. As I've mentioned before, there's no cars on the website at the moment, and to have no cars on the website, it still costs thousands of pounds a month to sit there doing nothing, which is why I like to go out every so often and buy a nice, clean, rare car like the Mark 5 Golf GTI I did a couple of months ago, and just stick it on there for one of you guys to win a bit of automotive history, because I found myself lately being a bit nostalgic and just only being really interested in cars that I used to idolize growing up. And the reason I love the Mark 6 Golf R is because I joined Volkswagen in 2011, I think it is, right when these were being produced, and I just used to absolutely love them. So I guess a bit of nostalgia. And also, the more and more new cars that are coming out these days, I'm getting absolutely fed up with all the technology, everything you've got to turn off every time you get in them. For those of you who don't know, I have another business as well that transports brand new cars, lease cars, and we deliver them all around the country to customers. And so I jump in loads of new cars all the time. A lot of them electric now as well. And to get in one, you've got to turn about 9 things, that's an exaggeration. You've got to turn 3 things off just to be able to drive it. And it's just so frustrating, coupled with the fact that new cars are completely soulless. And it kind of got me thinking about, where is the car industry at and what is its future? Because I personally don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the automotive car peaked, I think, in about 2016, 2017. Their life cycles kind of ended in 2021. So anything after 2021, just absolute rubbish. But anything from sort of 2005 to 2016 is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of the car industry. Obviously, you've got older cars which are still great, but it's that balance of technology, V8s, manuals, natural aspirated cars, and this is one of them. Right, so let's go for a little drive in this very analog car, which is one of the main reasons I like it. And I never thought I'd say it, but I do love looking at a Speedo that's analog. It's got proper rev counter, proper speed counter, not virtual cockpit. It's got clutch, 6 gears, 4-wheel drive, manual. Bitterly cold today as well. Sun's getting low, so I apologise and my camera likes to twizzle its little head as well, so apologise if at some points you can't see very well. But the good thing about it being nice and sunny and dry is the car shouldn't get too dirty. This is going back. Obviously I used to be a technician at Volkswagen in 2012, so I haven't driven one of these properly since 2012. It's a long time ago. Oh, I'll tell you what, this drives lovely. The person I did buy it from as well did say it drove lovely. Now, this car actually come from BCA, and I think it come from BCA from We Buy Any Car. I didn't buy it from either of those places. I was just talking to the previous owner, and he believes that it was sent there due to probate. So the previous owner of this guy, he was an old man who lived in the Cotswolds in a massive manor house, and this car for the last sort of 5 or 6 years has been stored in one of his sheds, and it was only sent to MOT sort of once a year, which is why it was so low mileage. So it's only 2 owners as well from new, this car. But he thinks that the old chap unfortunately passed away, and his relatives just sent the car to auction to We Buy Any Car. So nice, and having a rev counter. Oh, I'll tell you what, that sounds really good. I don't remember him sounding that good. Yes, bring back some memories, I'll tell you that. I used to PDI these cars, brand new off the ship. Oh, am I going to get around? Oh, I'm going to get... Let's go. Full drive. Great car. Feels brand new. I mean, it's only done 27,000 miles, but it feels brand new. Sounds lovely. It's not OTT at all. It doesn't have an ASBO exhaust on it. And the older I get, the more I seem to appreciate cars being slightly quieter. But that sounds lovely. Now, something I've wanted to talk about for quite some time, and I thought I'd just put it in this video. Why not? First video of the year. Let's start it with some bad news. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought as well, whether it was just me thinking it or it's quite common across the board. It is the used car market, the industry, and its future, because I don't see it having a future if things continue much longer. New cars, there's just so many rules, regulations with new cars that they're just impossible to love, if that makes sense. Like, you've got speed limit warnings, which are now mandatory in cars, but the cars don't even know how fast you're supposed to be going. Like, you could be going 60 on a 60 road, the car thinks it's a 30 and it's going bleep, 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 bleep. You're going too fast. You've got little cameras on there that tell you that you need a nap. If you so much as take your eye off the middle of the road to look in your mirror, perhaps, it's going bleep, 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 bleep. You need a rest. You've got lane assist as well, which is dangerous on anything other than a dual carriageway or a motorway, because it just tries to pull you into the hedge or the middle of the road all the time. So you've got to turn those 3 things off every time you get into a car just to drive it. And if that doesn't ruin the experience straight away, I don't know what does. You've got noise pollution, noise regulations. You've got GPF filters on cars from 2017 onwards, which means they all sound crap. And a lot of cars are either hybrid and EVs now. Now, don't get me wrong. EVs, if you don't care about cars, EVs are great. They are better than an internal combustion engine at getting from A to B. There's no doubt about it. But if you enjoy cars and you enjoy driving cars, they're dead. They're completely soulless. But also, I think generations have changed. I don't think the younger generation cares nowhere near as much about cars as sort of my generation. I'm 35 now, so people that are coming up, 17, 18, passing their test. When I was 17 and passed my test, I had modified cars everywhere. There were Corsa Bs, Corsa Cs. People were modifying their engines, modifying their cars, they're putting body kits on cars. They were everywhere. You could see them. And it was something to really get into. But nowadays, you don't see any modifications on any cars. I mean, I don't personally. So if no one's modifying cars anymore, there's nothing for that younger generation to look up to get into cars. And if they don't get into cars, they're not going to care about cars. And this is also a problem I see about investment cars. What happens to a Carrera GT, for example, that's worth, say, £1.5 million? What happens to that car in 25, 30 years' time when no one cares about it? It's going to be worthless. And it goes the same with every investment car. In 25, 30 years' time, I don't see people having an interest in cars, which means that those cars are going to be worthless. It's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, because I just genuinely don't think the generations coming up care nowhere near as much about cars. And it's a forced thing as well. It's not like they've had a choice. It's the regulations that have come in that have made cars dead, soulless, unenjoyable to own. Therefore, no one modifies them, no one cares. And everyone knows I'm a big Volkswagen Audi Group fan. And I walked into an Audi dealership the other day, walked into the showroom, and there was not one car in there that went, oh, that looks quite nice. I'd quite like to own that one day. It's just all absolute drivel. Like, there's a brand new A5 there. It looked all right, not great, but it's got the massive curved screen now on the infotainment. And you're just like, how is that necessary? It's a computer on its own. Like, why do you need all this stuff that this does? It can do the weather, it does news, it does stuff. Like, why do you need any of that? It's just overcomplicated. There's about 1,000 things it can do, which means there's 1,000 problems it's going to have in the future. There's sensors absolutely everywhere. Like, imagine trying to repair a 2025 Audi with all these hundreds of sensors all over the car that all need to be calibrated with specialist dealer level equipment. And not even that, you need like when you have like lasers that need setting up, you need boards, you need to put, honestly, it's enough to just make you go, no, I'm not going to ever buy that car to rebuild it. And it's kind of where I'm getting at. Like, cars now are so complicated, there's so much going on, there's so much technology, you just don't want to get involved in buying a crash damaged one to repair. It's just not worth the hassle. Plus the fact that these cars are also £60,000 new now, instead of the 35 they were sort of 10 years ago. Plus the fact that new car interest rates are now like 10% instead of the 4% they were 10 years ago. It's just, no one can afford them anymore. The monthly payments on the PCPs have absolutely gone through the roof, so no one's buying them. Lease deals are the way forward. They're the best way to, in my opinion, it's the best way to own a new car is to not own it, is to lease it. And this is before you've even got the Chinese market, which is now coming over. You get loads of Chinese cars now coming over. They're probably going to replace German cars, because German cars just cannot compete with the cheap labour of Chinese. And they're bringing over cars that are a third of the value that do the same thing. They're never going to be able to compete with that. So where does that leave German car makers in the next 5 to 10 years? Are they just going to give up, pull out? I don't know. That's what kind of... Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about the whole industry as a whole? Am I missing something? Am I not? Do you agree with me? Do you not? Just let me know in the comments, because it would be really interesting to let me know your thoughts. And a final thing is, like, I keep an eye on the car market all the time when I'm trying to buy salvage cars, and it does seem like cars from sort of 2012 to 2016 are starting to go up in value. Like, I was watching an RS6 at BCA last week, and it's done 65,000 miles, RS6 performance, and even that car sold for £40,000 trade plus fees. I mean, that car, brand new, would have only been £70,000 9 years ago. So, and I feel like that car wasn't £40,000 a couple of years ago. So I do think people are starting to appreciate that cars are crap now, and they're starting to go backwards in time to buy the old but gold cars. And that's where I get to, that this like 2015, 2016, 17 era of cars, I think is where it peaked, and it's been going downhill ever since. When I'm looking to buy salvage cars now, nothing post 2020 really interests me at all. And I don't know what that means in a couple of years' time, when obviously time goes further and further on. Am I just gonna, window of buying cars just slowly getting smaller and smaller to a point where I'm forced to buy a 2025 car and I'm like, I have no interest to rebuild that. So a lovely way to start the year off with a nice negative video, but I thought, why not? We'll start it off at the beginning of the year. Let me know what you guys think about the car industry, guys, and do I make some valid points? Do I not? Am I forgetting anything? It would really be interesting to know what you guys think as well. Don't forget to go grab your tickets on the Golf R. If I could keep every car, I would. That would be a perfect car that I'd just, if money was no option, I'd go stick that in a barn and I'd drive it a couple of times a year and just, yeah, I think that would go up in value. I don't see why it won't in this common age. But yeah, go grab your tickets on the Golf, guys. I have 3 cars actually I've got lined up that you haven't seen over the next couple of months. And one of them is going to be something different, but I think you'll really enjoy. I definitely will, which is why I did it in the first place. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.